welcome to the Fix,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tell you what, raise up the ante this week, hasn't he? He's gone in the muscle vest.
Yeah, look at this stuff. Full on.
Eh? Commitment. I would wear that myself, but I'd have to keep tucking a tit in. Not a good look. It breaks up the entire show, you know. The dynamic's lost. How's it going, fellas?
Very well, mate. Very well.
Are you to in stormy season where you live?
Mate, it's always perfect weather here. Middle of winter, but you can be in the beach if you want to. It's fine. Shorts, t-shirts, thongs.
So, nah, I've given up the thong, mate. It's an uncomfortable ride. Kills it, especially when you're on a bike.
We had some storms in Latvia, but it's 33 degrees Celsius now. I'm baked already.
Yeah, it's we're very, very warm. It's been warm all day today, but rainy, just humid. You know, it's not a good look. Yeah, sleepless in Seattle and all that at night. It's just like, oh my God, unbelievable. But anyway, enough of that weather garbage. There's been a little bit of arm wrestling activity, guys. But before we get into that arm wrestling activity, there's also been some Ryan Bowen activity. Uncle John's.
What are you talking about?
Mate, you can't get away with this kind of stuff. First of all, dateline check. Today is, what are we today? Is it like the 19th, 18th, I think it is. 18th. Either the 18th, and here we are. And can honestly say that Ryan has been and made me another 500. Yes! He went on the show and told everybody that not only can Lachlan crack Todd Hudson, you're going to do it yourself. Mate, come on, walk me through this match.
Hang on, all right. So you got to give a bit more context to that statement. I don't know.
That's what you're here for, Tom. That's what you're here for.
The way Ray's sitting back, I don't know if he's seen the interview, but Uncle John got me on, and he came up with he had a segment, and he said, I want to know how you think you'd go against Todd, and would you ever someday like that match? And I opened with, yeah, look, of course I'd someday like that match. I said, my ambitions are high. I said, there's a lot of hurdles between me and that match. There's Brendan, there's Justin, there's RBJ, and then we can start talking about Todd.
Yep. That's
what I said. Give it that context. And I actually said I think RBJ would be a harder match for me than Todd.
You did.
Because Todd allows me to. I know where the match goes. On RBJ, but anyway, he asked me specifically the question: if you were going to meet at 220 pounds, how long would you want or need to be competitive with him? And I said 6 months. If it was at 220 pounds, I said I could be competitive with him.
Let's be honest here, mate. That is, I know you're very committed and I know that you're making gains, but 6 months? Wow. That's fast.
The reason I say that is because I've seen people like Herman Stevens give him competition. Todd won, but it was a match. I believe I'm Herman Stevens level every day of the week. I believe I beat Herman Stevens on a stylistic sense. So, like, there's other middles, like all of the middles in the WAL could, even when Todd was at that weight, even though he was dominant, he gave them, they all gave him a match. Todd didn't just crucify everyone. And I think I'm at that level. I mean, Justin Bishop's beaten Todd on left, on right, sure he hasn't. And like, when I think back to his 2017 middleweight, yeah, he won it, but he's human at that weight. He's not utterly godlike. He's not Danny.
When he's 198. Well,
yeah. So, I mean, I have nothing but respect for Todd. I really don't. But I refuse to bow down to say, oh no, there just wouldn't be a chance of me even making it a match.
And that's a good thing, because that means it's another bet. So what we're saying is, if this happens in World Armwrestling League in the next 6 months, another 500 could be up there, mate. I mean, I know you're firing all over Australia. You carry on like this shit. I need a new car.
I'll put Leo, how about this? I'll put 500 down on a match should it happen.
Mm.
If you put 2,000 down.
No. That's a risk scenario for me. I don't do risk scenarios, mate. I don't. Listen, you went out there with the publicity. Ray, back me on this.
That shows that you have a little bit of fear.
No. Whoa.
Let's figure out the odds. Where's
the number? Where's the number you're okay with?
No, I don't need to go down this road. This is a road I don't need to go down. What we are talking about is
you need that car.
I can just carry on. Ryan's self-publicising is a great thing. People come on the show and they say things like, "Oh, his methods are so old." I mean, they're so very old. All he does is come on the show. He talks himself into a match. He's not bothered whether he wins that match or not. All he's bothered about is publicising it. I'm sat there and I'm thinking, oh, I'm making money out of this. It's like the guy in the mental home,
milking that
cow. When you go and see your mate in the mental home and he's sat there. You're watching him at the side and he's going, sat in the bed, and the guy looks over and he says to him, "What are you doing?" And he's, "So what are you doing?" He says, "Shut up, I'm driving my new Maserati." And he says, "You clown, you haven't got a new Maserati." And suddenly gets hit on head with a cup of water and he turns around and the guy on the other bed says, "Shut up, I get £5 a week for washing that." You know. As far as I'm concerned, you carry on, son. I'm in the money.
No, I know it's crazy and it's ambitious and it's absurd, but under the circumstances of Todd coming back to middleweight, which is a big if and probably unlikely anyway, unless the WAL created a fourth category and 220 pounds was it, and he decided to go back to that, because I don't think he's ever going to go back to 195.
No, it's all about catch weights, this, right?
Yeah,
so somewhere comfortable.
Well, if
the 210, 215, whatever.
210, yeah, 210. I would definitely take 210, and it would be a match. I'm certain it'd be a match. It would not just be a yawn snooze fest. Not a chance. Not a chance. I'm not saying I'd win. I'm saying it'd be a match, and I would take it for sure, openly, and be very excited about it.
We think, right?
Can I stay out of these? I'm like,
no, you absolutely cannot, because you
better Lachlan.
You think you can kick his ass?
Maybe. I'm like, I like when we talked about Lachlan and Todd. I went back. I watched Todd matches like from previous years. And like, nah, I don't believe Todd can. Like, saying it would be a match, yeah, if Todd gets in his position, of course it would be a match. Would that mean you still have more chances than when it wouldn't be a match? I don't think so, because Todd can really, like, he can cruise around in a third gear or put it in sixth if he wants to. And he can really up his level. It's same thing as those, like, if you would say you want to arm wrestle Devon at whatever weight, and you say, like, that could be a match, I know it would be a match. It would be a match if Devon wants it to be a match. And I think the same goes for Todd.
I don't think Todd could deny me access to power. There are other arm wrestlers that can deny me access to power. And
qualify that statement, would or could.
Okay, like...
I said could. I don't think he could.
It doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. You know, it's
No, but what I'm saying is, when you lose to someone and they utterly deny your access to power, you walk away ashamed. You feel like, shit, I shouldn't have even been on the table. But I don't believe Todd could deny me access to power. I believe he would have to go through my power. And that,
certainly not like Devon could.
No, Devon could suffocate me.
You can look at a lot of matches of Todd Hutchings, and you can see a lot of guys will take what they feel like they're taking his wrist, they take their hand, they feel comfortable. It's not because they wanted to do it. It's like they wanted to do it, but he didn't care.
Like Marcio Ray. Like
Yeah. I'm not going to play this game, guys. I'm sorry. I'm out.
Well, look, I've always been someone to jump in the deep end, and I'm going to. I always have. I always will, and it'll always make me grow. So, let's do it.
do you know already some...
me to jump in the deep end, and, I thought it'd make me grow. Turns out when I hit the water, it's colder than I thought. Not that many days when we shrinkage like that. So.
What were you going to ask me, Ray?
Is everything open? Do you know some competition dates, or what's the situation? Or it's still locked down?
No. As far as I know, WAL have announced August, so they're pushed back to August.
But I think Australia.
Australia, we're still not even allowed to leave the country. They're flirting with. I spoke to Phil Rasmussen today, who other than being the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation president, he's a director in a travel company, and he told me they're not expecting international travel till 2021 out of Australia.
Yeah, we're in a similar situation.
I just want to do something. Come on.
Yeah. Like, I saw your post that you want to go around and arm wrestle best guys from every club. Like, do that. Yeah. At least. That's
my ultimate. And I think that's
what
happened.
Ryan, if you establish yourself as the best guy in Australia, then these conversations, like, can you beat Hutchings, wouldn't be so out of place, because we still know there's a lot of strong guys. So show that you're number one. We're fine.
The only guys that are beating me in Australia are super heavyweight. I mean, unfortunately, as much as Danny Tesh would normally be there in that conversation, he's by his own accord essentially out for the sport.
Whoa.
Right now, yes, he has not.
He said that Neil is trolling him so hard that he's like, I'm finished.
I mean, that's just shocked me.
Yeah, Danny
arm wrestling.
Yeah.
No one has seen him with the exception of Phil. It's like he's in witness protection. He's that private of a guy, but the word is that he is so far from wanting to arm wrestle, that it's not even a consideration for him. He's 85 kilos, so he's lost a lot of weight. He's got long hair. He's surfing.
Oh he's got long hair.
And surfing.
Yeah. And surfing.
He's finding his zen. Neil, you wanna quit this show right now? Should we stop?
I'm just.
You need to take some time.
Already.
Yeah. Okay. Pause.
I don't know what to say.
And now we're back.
It's like, the long hair thing I get, because, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some time now, suspected.
Yeah. But look, Jordan Davis is the other guy now. He's legit middle. He's a scary dude now. Holy shit, he's scary. To me, I don't know. To me, he's worst nightmare.
Think how many people you've lined up matches with now. I mean, everybody wants a piece of you. Even Ray wants a piece of you.
Yeah, Ray.
Hey.
Even.
So many guys are trolling. We should.
Herman Stevens.
Weird things coming up. I'm telling you, that's the thing. I mean, number one, right? Let's walk through some here, okay? And you're so. I mean, this is the thing. I want to throw these out, and you tell me how realistic it is that you beat these guys or not. Okay, let's start. Okay. I'm going to leave Ray up till late in this. Firstly, Paul Maiden.
I feel 70% sure I'll win.
70% sure you'll smack Paul Maiden about. Okay.
These are all super matches, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Stoica Bogdan.
I don't know enough about him to give you an accurate. I know he trains with Tom Holland, and he looks strong as hell. But I see Tom training. So, I'll probably work him out. I think I'll win.
He's much stronger than Neil.
You know what? I'm gonna say he probably is. Yeah. Stoica Bogdan deserves. If I pulled Stoica, he deserves to kick my head in.
What's his weight?
He'd be like 100 kilos. He's lighter than me. I'm heavy, mate. I'm like 108. I've put on like 3 kilos in lockdown in 3 weeks. It's quite worrying, actually. Just from inactivity and stuff. But no, Stoica's deserves to win. He's in his prime. He's a young man. He trains his ass off. He's dedicated to the sport. He's a fabulous arm wrestler. He's a good bloke. I haven't got a bad thing to say about the man. I've never had a crossword with him in life. And Stoica never claimed he could kick my ass. That I'm aware of. Never.
Tom's doing what I'm doing.
What I said was, I don't think that Stoiker would beat me easy in that kind of format. I don't think anybody would in the UK. Anybody would beat me easy, just run through. I just don't see it. I might be talking crap, but I don't see it.
Well, yeah, so that's my position with Stoiker is I don't know him well enough, but when I don't know someone, like I said, I find it hard to make a prediction, but I get to respect the dude from what I have seen, and yeah, I don't know. But I'll always back myself in a super match to work it out and to be right there in it, no matter what.
But this is going to get more interesting yet, mate. So you don't need to go deep yet. Frode Hoagland.
50-50 in my head, because I just respect his ability to pull his wrist back. I think I take his wrist. I think it's like Alan Guerra, but harder.
Well, it's definitely harder because there's, with all due respect to Alan, Frodo's more well-rounded, and in terms of endurance, different, completely different animal. Completely different animal. Okay, let's now start to walk a bit nearer the line. My old mate Ray. That one.
Ray's a hard one for me to give a prediction on, because every time we've gripped, I've never been able to do a thing to him. But I've gripped him when I was ready to put an ice pack on my elbow. I was in pain that much from inflammation. So I've never been able to gather the data that I normally can when I gripped up someone in a casual sense. So I actually don't know where our power level balances. Stylistically, I think it's going to be a flash either way. I think he's either going to flash press me or I'm going to flash get him outside of his shoulder. So it's 50-50 in my head at the moment.
Okay. Jordan Davis.
Oh, he's the scariest dude alive. He's the favourite over me right now, ready to go. I'll admit that.
Over 6 rounds in a super match, Jordan, you think, beats you?
He is the only guy that I have gripped in the last, outside of people like Devon, outside of the mega elites that I've gripped. He's the only guy that it feels worse as time goes on, inevitably. Everyone else I can feel like I'm chipping away and getting somewhere. With Jordan,
I get that 100%, mate. It doesn't even surprise me one bit, because he's your training partner. It's just as simple as that. That is no surprise to me. I think Jordan to you and Jordan to other guys, different. And Jordan's going to be tough, because he's a good puller, a very good puller, and he's long.
93 kilos right now. When I trained with him 2 days ago, I felt like I was training with Devon Larratt in terms of the shape. I pinned him for the first 3 or 4 pulls, and then my hand was gassed, and I couldn't do a fucking thing.
Yeah, but there was times early on in there where when you managed to just engage some power, and you went through him like a chainsaw through a dog shit. Yeah. And what I'm getting at is there are other guys, like for example, let's say the Devon Larratt comparison. If Devon got a bite on you in any position, you just do power, skill. And what I'm saying is that Jordan, and I'm not knocking, I really like Jordan. Jordan's a good dude, like genuinely good dude, and a great young arm wrestler. And I do think that Jordan's got a very, very bright future, very like Tom in some ways. But I do think that there are weaknesses in Jordan at the moment which you won't see, because he'll deny you access to those because he knows you like the back of his hand, which other guys will get to.
The key word was the hand. The hand. Like, you can see, like every time I watch you arm wrestle, your hand is like 20% behind his hand. His hand control, that's where you're losing. And you can press in as much as you want, you will get tired because he makes you hold you. He makes you hold him. Sorry. And improve on that, and it will even out. It will even out, and then you will see, okay. Yeah. Because like from every match I watch it, you will go a little bit like I do inside, but not take care of your hand too much that he gets you holding, you know? You can press through.
Yeah.
That's
and the other thing is, the easiest environment for a tall guy like that to do what he's doing is on a training table. In a tournament, the referee just level him up. If you draw your thumb under him, if you literally just pull your thumb back and under him, so he has to go pistol grip, That'll open a vast area of weakness.
In a Zloty style environment, I'm much more confident against Jordan than I am in the WAL environment. In a WAL environment, he is going to be backing away and rolling over as the go's happening. And that's horrible. But super strict, I got a much better chance.
Yeah, interesting. So Jordan Davis over Fraud. Who wins?
Yeah, for real. For me, anyway.
Who do you think?
Oh, those two. Oh, shit. Sorry. I didn't realize that's the question. I think Jordan has no dramas taking control of the hand and wrist, but I think Froda is the worst kind of arm wrestler for Jordan. Jordan will not get Froda out of his shoulder, and Jordan's shoulder is a weakness. To someone with side pressure like that, Jordan will hurt himself. Like Jordan
I agree.
Jordan hurt himself pulling Danny Tesh. He genuinely took Danny Tesh's wrist. He genuinely stopped Danny Tesh. Danny Tesh drove for a flop press, and Jordan held him 2 inches off the pin like that, and then Jordan busted his shoulder, and Danny won. So he can't maintain that position as long as Froda's going to maintain this position. So easy Froda.
Giannis Armelins versus Jordan Davis. Who wins?
And
there's a specific reason behind that question.
When they were the same weight, definitely Giannis. Giannis has too much integrity and too much engagement off the go with that very quick hit and back pressure. Jordan Davis currently at 93 kilos, it definitely changes because, like I said, I've felt his power levels rise. Yeah. Giannis is a master at exploiting, though, at bringing someone tall and lanky like down and just popping that. So I still go Giannis. If it was a hook, I'd go Jordan. Jordan would eat him up in a hook.
Really?
Yes.
Jordan would beat Giannis in a hook?
Yes.
Wow.
I think so, but he wouldn't be able to get it there. I think I would back Giannis for sure.
Okay. I always think Giannis is underrated in terms of arm strength because he doesn't go there because he wants to stay fresh. Giannis's arm strength is above what a lot of people think.
Much above.
Like, it's really good.
Guys don't understand the shit that we are doing. It's like, but Giannis he will just use the easiest variation, like to beat you. But you will feel like you have nothing. It's like nothing. He just pops you there. If you get him in your strength, he might struggle, but he's still, you know.
Yeah, he's very, very, very competitive in the strength environment.
The hook is there, press is there. Giannis is good, and he's in super shape right now. Super shape. Yeah.
The way that Tom Holland pulled Giannis, Tom almost got Giannis obviously in that match. It wasn't far off. Giannis had to use more diversity than just a back pressure top roll hit to win. When Jordan Davis was that same size as Tom, I think he in a hook would do almost as good as Tom. But now that Jordan's 93 kilos, like I said, I've just felt such a power increase in Jordan's all-round game that now I can't beat him in a hook. If I can beat Jordan in a hook if it's just go, but if it's let's slow pull, I am utterly screwed with Jordan.
Yeah, but he won't access the hook. He'll keep so much distance from you.
Yeah.
Well, I put that down to the training partner thing. I really do. But I may be wrong. Jordan may prove me wrong, and if he does, good on you, kiddo. Because I wish him the best. He's a good lad.
Jordan is good. He needs to polish. He needs to arm wrestle someone else than just Ryan. He will get to... I think that the biggest problems for him might be better top rollers, better with long arms like he is. Because he's so used to getting, where he wants that as soon as he gets out of that, that's the problem. This is why you switch up. Yeah.
If I was sort of managing Jordan, I'd like matches that I'd like to sort of track him on would be things like I'd love to see him pull Glenn Bengtson first outlet traps, like you spoke about in the Uncle John piece, and I think that would be a much tighter contested match than I think. The other one that I think would be very interesting would be actually for you. This is from a mindset perspective. I'd like to see him pull Alan Guerra, just so that you'd get interesting thing.
Yeah, I know. I would love that. I mean, because Alan to me, like the way I said Frodo would beat Jordan. I know that Alan has the same shape.
Yes.
But does he have the power to finish Jordan? I think it'd be close. It'd be a risky match for Jordan for sure.
Quinlan Mendez would be nice for Jordan. I think that's
Quinlan doesn't have enough there to be real dangerous. He likes to flirt on both sides, and I believe Jordan takes control of the hand and wrist on Quinlan.
If Quinlan leaves his elbow on a pad, then that's a match. I just remember the last match. I'm like,
oh yeah, they no comment.
Yeah,
no comment. But the other interesting match for me, which I'd like to see right-handed, this is just for clarity, would be the Steel Giraffe ambush Nicholas and Armstead, because that's a nice test for Jordan in terms of that fire versus fire thing.
Yeah.
I know that Jordan likes that match too. Jordan's very drawn by that idea. He's very keen on that.
Yeah, I'd like that. I really would. I'd love to see that kind of thing. Anyway, there's a little insight into the mind of Australian arm wrestling versus the rest of the world. Coming to you very soon. We're moving on, mate. Next thing, arm wrestling started again. The Yanks have been doing some arm wrestling. The tournament went on. Did any of you see that online?
Yeah.
Sarah Blackman.
Holy.
Yeah.
And those weren't like complete novices. Those were like arm wrestler guys, you know?
Mate, I'm not going to comment on the guys' level because I don't know those guys well. And I know Sarah's a banger. She can do a little bit, you know. But what I will say is this, that first time out, right-handed after the injury. I mean, hat off Sarah Blackman.
Yeah, I think it's only been I think it's only been 7 months since she did the injury, 8 months. So it's still relatively
September, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that long ago.
No,
major injury.
No, for her to show up and start pulling, men.
No. Wasn't it with left arm? I think she competed just with left arm.
No, I think she pulled right arm. She competed left arm with the men, didn't she?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and right arm with the women. She won her right arm.
Yeah. But for her to be back arm wrestling, period, in September to now, what are we, it's quick. That's a fast comeback. Most people, I wouldn't expect to see them back on the table competing for a year and a half.
She can't wait.
I mean, Sarah's an amazing athlete. She shared a post. I forget the timeline on it, but it wasn't that long ago, and it was a post of her at 220 pounds.
I saw. Where she was lifting Atlas Stone.
Yeah, she's lifting Atlas Stone. She's 220 pounds. Yeah. And it wasn't that long ago, and for her to have made the turnaround mentally, to transform back from that to the weapon that she is again, it's astounding, and she's the number one girl worldwide when it comes to drawing people to the sport for females and for men as well. She's phenomenal. I got nothing but time for her.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
The mindset. When we talked with her, and she's so positive, and you can see the things that drive her. It's very interesting, The mindset, everything is in mind. The champions.
When she's focused. She's really, really, really focused. If you set that, she's a little bit like a female version of Michael Todd in terms of that. Once she sets her heart, that's it. If she sets her mind on something and it's a goal and it's real in her mind, she takes some dissuading. Let me tell you, she's a very, very, very focused, diligent. She's an athlete and a champion. And even when she was a puppy, when she'd show up, she came to Arm Wars when she was, bloody hell, I don't know what she was, 17 or something. She was a kid. And I loved her back then. Just her absolute failing attitude. She just thought to herself, you know what, I'm going to be the girl. And in fact, she came to one Arm Wars, I want to say it was like Iron Curtain. She was a little bit older, but not much more, maybe 19, 20. She's still young. She'd got some wool on her back. She'd done a little bit. She'd won a little bit, but nothing massive. It was domestic stuff, really. And she was at the bar with some of the other ladies that were at the show, and she was making claims. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I could beat this person, I could beat that person. She sounded like you, Ryan. But she would not waver from that belief. People were sort of mocking her a little bit, having a little stick at her. She just blinkers on. That's what I'm going to do. That's the focus. And, what can you say? She's delivered in every respect. And she looks like she's as committed as she's been for a long time right now. Physically, she looks ridiculous. In fact, she's training her ass off. Yep. So that's going to be interesting. If she gets back to full force, I'd love to see her and Gabby again, because another girl I love, Gabs, she's ace. What an absolute rock that is, I wish that more girls would come out and get to that level of commitment and focus, and, they're relatively...
There's only a few in the conversation, isn't there, at that level, because she's so elite. And I'm glad she pulls them in. I'm glad, because it gives her something to do, gives her points to prove, and she's got another ladder that she can climb in the meantime while she's training and executing and all that sort of stuff. And I think the ladder goes fairly high. It's pretty high how far she could go up that men's ladder.
I wonder how low. I wonder.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I've got a very real eye on that. I think there is a limit, and also I think there's the for Sarah's sake, and for all the elite ladies' sake, the Marlins of this world, the Fia A6, Irina, you name it, Egler, whoever it is. I don't think that there should be, and I'm not going to sort of enter into too much conversation about her having to prove herself against men, or, I just don't think that's right, and I don't think she should be required to do it, or if she wants to do that.
I don't think she's required. I think she just wants to do it. I think she just wants to do it.
But it's a situation, is what I'm saying. If people start to sort of bite into that and they make almost like a publicity stunt. Okay, let's see how good Sarah can get, how far Sarah can go, or how much Gabby can get, how far she can go. I wouldn't like to see a situation where she's risking injury because of that. It wouldn't be great.
Yeah. Because you see that every now and then at a global tournament, you see that guy, and he's that guy who wants to prove himself that he can beat one of the females, and they always look like idiots. They're always irresponsible, and they're just missing the point completely.
Completely.
And it's embarrassing when you see it happen. And I've seen it happen at every international tournament. There's always a queue of guys that want to prove themselves against the female world champion. And it's a shock.
My approach to that is, and the way I would encourage people to do that, or other arm wrestlers, male arm wrestlers, to do that, if you want to feel how strong these ladies are, my approach to that is I'll make an agreement with the girl. Look, I am not going to pull you aside. I'm not going to attack you onto this side of the table. And I'm also not going to sort of try and disfigure your strategy in terms of your technical element. I'm not going to try and disable your wrist. I'm going to let her pull into a fluid spot, let her get comfortable. And if she pins me, cool. If she doesn't, cool. But what I'm not going to do, I'm going to soften myself out. I'm not going to sort of be rigid where she's going to hit and strain a tendon. It's just, why? For what?
Yeah, exactly. It's the only way you should do it.
Yeah, it's not a environment I'd encourage, because when you get something like that, something that's any arm wrestler, any athlete, and the same thing can be said of the lighter weight guys. This isn't a male-female thing. It's also the 55-kilo Georgian that you go and you pull, and everybody's like, holy, this guy's strong. The next thing, everybody wants to see him pull Levon. You're like, well, Jesus.
Well, that's what Devon does to everyone he trains with. And it's like, it feels like 90% of the arm wrestling fans of the world think that Devon's losing in those training pools.
Yeah, So, I do get comments where, Devon's not that good. Devon's really, really good. Really good. Like really good ever. Really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he just is, You might not like Devon. You might think that Devon's mama a hoe. Devon's a really good arm wrestler, all right? I don't care whether you are the meanest, most unjustifiable person out there and you've just got a personal vendetta against Devon, whatever. If you don't think Devon Larratt's a good arm wrestler, you need to give your head a wobble. Dude's really good in all positions. If you look at Devon's history,
I've actually challenged Devon Larratt to a super match. Legit.
Sure,
well, that's the first the old YouTube channel rating.
Of course.
I've said, because Devon's 10 years older than me, I've said, Devon, when you're 55 and I'm 45, so that's 10 years from now. We have already agreed super match a decade from now. And he said, I got no chance. He said, my King's move will be so established by then, you'll have nothing.
Fair.
I said, I feel like I'll be at my peak in 10 years. That'll 45 with 17 years in the sport. That'll be probably my peak. So if I'm ever going to do it, that's it.
Yeah, I think it's one of the coolest things about arm wrestling is the fact that you can go on so long. You know, you can't get, and it's around a couple of things. It's around, I mean, I've had people say to me, because I've said, they're like, will you arm wrestle again? If I arm wrestle again, I'm going to arm wrestle for fun. I'm not going to be pretending that I'm, chasing down Prudnik. It's not really what I'm about. If my sons get into arm wrestling and love arm wrestling, I would love nothing more than that. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to push them that way. But if they did, cool as balls, we're back. Yeah. It'd be like, what'd be better than that? Traveling the world to a tournament. I'd just like to go to tournaments all over the world. Win, lose or draw, just to be traveling to arm wrestling tournaments, see all your mates, the arm wrestlers all over the world with your sons. That has got to be that's like the utopia of iron.
I don't think there is a sport out there like it. There really isn't. The fact that there was 33 years between John Brzezink's first world title and his last world title. Is there another sport out there where there's 33 years difference between first and last world title for any athlete?
I think the distinction's got to be around physical sports, isn't it? I mean, if you're doing something like, I don't know, shooting, then you may find, you know what I mean? There might be something like that. There could well be, and there may be other sports that I'm dismissing there. But certainly for a sport which is so physically dependent, so visceral at the level it is, that you've got such longevity, is great. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. And a lot of it, as I was saying earlier, it's around your desire to compete and to train at that level and to advance yourself at that level. And one of the best ways in which to do that, guys, for any new arm wrestlers that are out there is, as I've said many times, don't fear the loss. Everybody loses. If you haven't lost in arm wrestling, you just haven't arm wrestled enough. Everybody gets their ass kicked, regardless. So forget it, moving on. You take a loss, dust it, crack on. The other thing is injuries. How bad do you get injuries? And the worst injuries, apart from something that's ridiculously serious, the worst kind of injuries that are problematic from a niggle perspective and restrictive have got to be nerve damage. You suffer serious nerve damage, that can be a mountain to climb in terms of holding you back, just preventing you from training effectively. Outside of that, let's all become Norm Devio.
Yeah.
It's cool as hell. I mean, Norm be what, in his 80s?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to be 80 years old, arm wrestling my 30-year-old grandchildren and have a giggle at them as they can't pin me. Yeah. That'd be great.
Calling out Godzilla's son for $500.
Yeah. You know it. It's going to happen.
Absolute quality. So, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this episode of The Fix. If you're new to the channel here, Supernatural Strength channel, and you like what we do, please like, share, subscribe. Also, just before we do tune out, I want these guys to give the channel a little plug. First of all, starting with Raimonds Liepins, tell us where they can find more on you, mate. Tell these people where they can see you in all your glory.
Voice of Arm Wrestling.
Voice.
You took on the Neil approach then, that little whisper.
Yes.
That's when it means shit.
It's contagious.
Yeah. When it's really serious.
When you're serious, you're like, Voice of Arm Wrestling.
Get in. All new Ryan Bowen. Tell us about what's happened, mate. Big change.
Yeah. You can find all my shenanigans are just Ryan Blue Bowen on YouTube. That'll follow everything I do. Anything and everything I do to do with the sport will be there.
And a little bit of singing.
Yeah, I might even be singing. Sweet Home Alabama or something, I don't know.
In that baritone voice. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this episode of The Fix. We will see you very, very soon. Until that time, we hope you and your families are well and take it easy, peeps.